the cannabis used to be a major problem here. And they used to also come from different parts of the country to this because the demand was good and all those. And sometimes in some seminars they say intellectuals also take that cannabis to get that their creativeness and kind of things people used to say. But we that time I remember we had a narcotic squad. Now it is already there in all the districts called DANSAP, which we made late. But that time Kochi had a very unique distinction of having a anti-drug squad. They used to go and we also did some work for the rehabilitation of the addicts, mostly the ganja type of people. So that is the kind of thing which did in 90s. But over the period of time, other type of drugs also started coming. That is a big issue, and I'm sure many of the actually steps have been taken for handling this kind of issue. Especially I am worried that youngsters should not, even students should not actually fall prey to this kind of habits which will actually spoil them in all sense. So as a not as a police officer, as a responsible citizen in the society, I say that all of us should have some kind of role to play. It is not, I always keep on telling that drugs is not a police problem. Police can only do some supply management, it can do by doing good enforcement. But you know that there will be always some way, pilferage somewhere or something. People are smart enough to get the things. Even going out and getting it or something like that, it is possible. So what happens is that the societal response should be good and should be say. I always say that don't hate a drug addict, then he will consume more. Actually treat him as a patient. Treat him. I mean, there are the psychological, physiological, medical, all kind of therapies are available, and world has seen that successful models are there elsewhere also, in India, abroad, etc. So treat them, but don't spare the suppliers who might not be consuming them. They are only making money. So in spite of we having a very strong NDPS Act and the rules, etc., still then getting these people becoming, because they adopt various methodology. There is not a stereotype methodology. So that somebody was telling that in the back side of the stamp they will put something and do. These are all innovations, they are coming out. So we have to, not only the police, but also the shape our teachers, the parents, the brother or sister, the family members, they should not be ashamed of actually saying that, look, a student is actually consuming, so we should not say our school reputation will go. No, he or she has become a victim. Treat them, treat and something, and that is how the parental role or that role of the teacher is very, very crucial. So many of the programs police is doing, excise is doing, even civil society, a lot of people are doing. You are also doing campaigning, etc. I know many of the media houses also do that. Tell them not to take that. So divert them. So you have done that cricket is being played, football is being played, or music is being done, so that they do not get that much of attraction only to the drugs. So that is one of the things. But notwithstanding that, the squads and the special enforcement divisions related to drug, especially in a city like Kochi, should be very careful and very active to see that these peddlers, especially the suppliers, are
so taken to. You are focusing more on the users. Like we should focus on the peddlers and the suppliers, the big suppliers.
I am telling that. We are actually the question is that, for example, when you start counseling a person and he or she gets a little bit better and better, then you can actually intelligently get how he used to get. Initially, if you go and ask now a addict that how did you buy and from where, he will not tell you. Or he may actually mislead you. But after a particular little bit of time, slowly when he realizes that he is becoming better, he will tell you. That time, crack them, crack these people. So it is a kind
But
of...
you need to focus on the users to get the peddlers,
No, not that, not necessarily. There are so many methods. I don't want to talk about the various operational methods. Now electronic SIA is there. Now, people say that in the dark net also people sell the kind of thing. So dark net monitoring is required, which the police is capable. City police also has got a cyber dome in Info Park. They are quite capable. They can always actually find. Only thing is that sometimes what happens because of the city policing is tasking because of various activities, VIPs and other kind of things which happens, functions, major festivals or gatherings, etc. That so police get distracted on to that because they have to maintain the order, etc. But those dedicated people who are handling the cyber division, handling the drugs, they should not be disturbed. They should continuously work on this particular thing. That is how the management, the police commissioner, DCP has to ensure that is they are doing it, because I know that, because they are quite very conscious. Because when I used to talk to the senior officers, including the commissioner, he said that they are very clear about how they can do maximum enforcement. In the meantime, I am just sending a message to other people who are actually reading this interview or seeing the interview, that you have also a role. Just actually tell wherever it is possible. If you see a behavioral change of a person, even a child, that he is becoming dull, he is not actually concentrating on anything, you see that actually something wrong has happened. So maybe that you discover that don't hesitate in going to a counselor or a person to tell that let my son be looked into, rather than saying that no, I will not tell. This kind of things should not be there. So that is what I am saying. This is a societal response.
Yeah, because what's these crime reporters, every day they get the release from the police. So the release generally, focus on 5 grams of cannabis, 2 grams. One raid in a college campus, one classroom, they got 10 grams. This kind of trust. So the police is, instead of is shaming the students, or instead of tracking the suppliers, big suppliers, this is what's happening now. And then they publish all the photographs. They send a release saying that So this is actually shaming and so.
So I am actually telling that one particular thing, if there is a recovery or discovery of a drug in small quantities, in the law itself they have distinguished that small quantity or consumption is punishable with a very small punishment, whereas trafficking or smuggling is more. What you say is actually...
I'm talking about the releases, press releases.
Press releases, you can always talk to the commissioner to say that, because one part is that is the easy part to, the discovery or recovery of the drugs, even in small quantity coming as a release. But they are doing on the back hand. I know because I was in the police, so I know. So there people actually work overtime. Say for example, they will check the phone which him are contacting and all kind of things they do. That how the police operations take place, and it is not that easy to actually immediately to get it. Sometimes what happens is that I remember that there were some Africans used to be involved and operating from Bangalore. So I remember some of the operation during night time also we sent people to Bangalore to pick up people with the help of Bangalore City Police and all those. So similarly, they must be doing. When there is a major kind of thing, they will certainly give you that. But at present, suppose it is like this, if they are catching a person and the person who has supplied will be alert immediately. So that I may be actually tracked through him. But they put cutouts and they know how the operation is to be done. But question is, see the seizures on a day-to-day basis because of the lot of pressure also on police, you can say. So they whatever they actually register, they are giving it that. But that doesn't actually demean them that they are not actually working behind the screen for a major catch, because once they do a major catch, there are actually a lot of actually benefits for them, not only for the society, for them personally. Even drug seizures, they will be rewarded. The Narcotic Control Bureau has a reward policy. You do a lot of actually seizures, then like that. But then what happens when the seizures take place on major quantity? You have to be very careful in actually adducing those as evidence in the court. See what happened. I was told there was a major seizure by Coast Guard some 1 year back or something. That case ended in acquittal. Somebody told me. So there we should be cautious, because these people should go to jail. There is no other go. They should be successfully prosecuted. Otherwise, the message will go wrong that we can get away. We can actually go for 10-15 days custody. After that, because it is a lot of money. So it is not question of that. So making a very good prosecutable case, because these are seizure cases. So the seizure should be very proper. The witness should be also that good to smack confidence in the court. No, it's not a routine kind of fellow who is actually giving what you call stock witnesses. So that's not correct. So proper investigation of seizure cases is very crucial.